The steep rise of prices of food and basic commodities signals increased pressure on the economy as inflation hits new levels amid the war in Ukraine and slow growth from the global pandemic. Commodity markets are taking the worst battering as customers dip further into their pockets to afford skyrocketing prices.
Yesterday, I had a slight argument with the guy that I order stuffs from Turkey. The prices that he used to sell me this stuff for, when I send the money, the prices have increased without even informing me.
The situation is especially dire for middle-income countries across Latin America and Africa, where the globalization of market economies faces new challenges. Now, how does all this affect low-income countries like the Gambia, with low export capacity and pressured commodity imports?
So what's happening here is that the young man wants fish that's costing $25. Unfortunately, the woman is saying there's nothing here that is costing $25.
The situation at this turntable highway reflects the current wave of business and difficulties shadowing growth across the country. Exchanges with young entrepreneurs in the food and clothing business reveal the ordeal facing small businesses in this crucial period.
Before, we have fixed prices. Yeah, we have fixed prices for the packages and the like. But now it's very difficult to do so because sometimes you do and things change from even 75 to 100%.
The fluctuation in prices is largely linked to the effects of COVID-19 and the recent Russia-Ukraine war, two reasons that leave no space for optimism in a highly unpredictable market. The dependence of large economies on Russia for oil and current conflict sparks ripple effects consequentially felt beyond the war zone. A young economy like the Gambia is clearly feeling the pinch, especially affecting SMEs, which rely on supplies already strained by the global pandemic.
We had some issues with the price increment, like when it comes to importing in our packaging materials. So this price has increased with the ports, these people who bring these containers here. I mean, I would say that if they were charging half price, now they are charging full price of everything now.
Our profit is based on the cost of production. So cost of production definitely is high because even the packaging material that we use, the importation is expensive. So, it has increased cost. So that is why our products have also increased.
In searching for new supply sources, a continuation in the current trend means smaller economies might go into debt distress, and governments know that an increase in borrowing could further dampen public spending. But as the cycle persists, some young entrepreneurs have strategies to sustain their business models that might not be the best option for customers.
Between 2020 to now, we have increased twice.
I costed my products very well. So even with price hiking now, my products were costed and priced very well so that most of the ingredients I use have gone up. But my prices stay the same because they have been costed well and my profit margin is okay, is great.
Deepening problems linked to a fragile global market. Is there a way forward here?
So if we have a price control, I think that will help us.
I think price control should be adapted, like different places with different prices, every day with different prices. I mean, it's affecting us as young businesses.
It's not your fault, the entrepreneur. That is what the market is selling it, and you need to make profit. So it's definitely a bad thing in this country, and we need to really work on that price control.
Price controls are generally put in place to manage the affordability of goods and services in the market, with governments propping them to make basic needs like food and housing more affordable. It also enables producers and consumers to find equilibrium in the marketplace, but a major disadvantage could be on supplies. If businesses get a lower price, there may be less incentive to supply goods, and the number of properties on the market declines. A maximum price range could also lead to shortages where demand exceeds supply, leading to waiting lists, which might not be the best option for a low-income country like the Gambia.
The economic option for such situation is to allow the market to adjust itself. But that does not necessarily mean that government in some jurisdictions could not come to play a role when the market could not adjust itself.
The situation might not be encouraging for many, but these young women remain hopeful.
When we produce our local products, we don't need certain importation of certain cereals in the Gambia. We already have them here. What we have to do is just to put it in the minds and let government help us put it in the minds of the people.
We want all the government sectors to be having these local products that we are making. Let them start consuming and start wearing all these things that we are making in the Gambia.
For now, consumers continue to lament as new pressures strain growth and basic commodity markets. It's a fight with inflation that many here hope to quickly fend off and eventually beat.
Government is concerned with this, and the executive has come up with a tax team that is looking at the overall effect of the global supply chain disruption and the effect in the economy and the Ukraine war. So I understand that about two weeks is given to this tax team to come up with some recommendations that government will adopt to mitigate the further effect of these external shocks to the economy.
But current trends are sending shockwaves through the region, leaving detrimental consequences that might take long to amend. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Fatou Ellika Muloshi.